Welcome to the Chronological One-Year Bible, April 8th. Today's reading is Ruth chapter 4, verses 13 through 22, 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verses 9 through 55, 1 Chronicles chapter 4, verses 1 through 23, and 1 Samuel chapter 1, verses 1 through 8. So Boaz took Ruth into his home, and she became his wife. When he slept with her, the Lord enabled her to become pregnant, and she gave birth to a son. Then the women of the town said to Naomi, "Praise the Lord, who has now provided a redeemer for your family. May this child be famous in Israel. May he restore your youth and care for you in your old age. For he is the son of your daughter-in-law who loves you and has been better to you than 7 sons." Naomi took the baby and cuddled him to her breast, and she cared for him as if he were her own. The neighbor women said, "Now at last Naomi has a son again," and they named him Obed. He became the father of Jesse and the grandfather of David. This is the genealogical record of their ancestor Perez. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse was the father of David. The sons of Hezron were Jerahmeel, Ram, and Caleb. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon, a leader of Judah. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse's first son was Eliab. His second son was Abinadab. His third was Shemaiah. His fourth was Nethanel, his fifth was Radai, his sixth was Ozem, and his seventh was David. Their sisters were named Zeruiah and Abigail. Zeruiah had 3 sons named Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Abigail married a man named Jether, an Ishmaelite, and they had a son named Amasa. Hezron's son Caleb had sons from his wife Azubah and from Jerioth. Her sons were named Jesher, Shobab, and Ardon. After Azubah died, Caleb married Ephrathah, and they had a son named Hur. Hur was the father of Uri. Uri was the father of Bezalel. When Hezron was 60 years old, he married Gilead's sister, the daughter of Machir. They had a son named Segub. Segub was the father of Jair, who ruled 23 towns in the land of Gilead. But Geshur and Aram captured the town of Jair and also took Kenath and its 60 surrounding villages. All these were descendants of Machir, the father of Gilead. Soon after Hezron died in the town of Caleb Ephrathah, his wife Abijah gave birth to a son named Ashur, the father of Tekoa. The sons of Jerahmeel, the oldest son of Hezron, were Ram, the firstborn, Bunah, Oren, Ozem, and Ahijah. Jerahmeel had a second wife named Atara. She was the mother of Onam. The sons of Ram, the oldest son of Jerahmeel, were Maaz, Jamim, and Iker. The sons of Onam were Shammai and Jada. The sons of Shammai were Nadab and Abishur. The sons of Abishur and his wife Abihail were Abban and Molid. The sons of Nadab were Seled and Apim. Seled died without children, but Apim had a son named Ishi. The son of Ishi was Sheshan. Sheshan had a descendant named Ilah. The sons of Jada, Shammai's brother, were Jether and Jonathan. Jether died without children, but Jonathan had 2 sons named Peleth and Zazah. These were all descendants of Jerahmeel. Shishon had no sons, though he did have daughters. He also had an Egyptian servant named Jarrah. Shishon gave one of his daughters to be the wife of Jarrah, and they had a son named Attai. Attai was the father of Nathan. Nathan was the father of Zabad. Zabad was the father of Ephlal. Ephlal was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jehu. Jehu was the father of Azariah. Azariah was the father of Helez. Helez was the father of Elisah. Elisah was the father of Sismai. Sismai was the father of Shallum. Shallum was the father of Jeconiah. Jeconiah was the father of Elishama. The descendants of Caleb, the brother of Jerahmeel, included Misha, the firstborn, who became the father of Ziph. Caleb's descendants also included the sons of Merishah, the father of Hebron. The sons of Hebron were Korah, Tappuah, Rechem, and Shema. Shema was the father of Raham. Raham was the father of Joachim. Rechem was the father of Shammai. The son of Shammai was Maon. Maon was the father of Beth-zur. Caleb's concubine, Ephah, gave birth to Haran, Moza, and Gazez. Haran was the father of Gazez. The sons of Jahdai were Regem, Jotham, Geshan, Pelet, Ephah, and Shaaph. Another of Caleb's concubines, Maacah, gave birth to Sheber and Tirhana. She also gave birth to Shaaph, the father of Madmanah, and Shiva, the father of Machbenah and Gibeah. Caleb also had a daughter named Aksah. These were all descendants of Caleb. The sons of Hur, the oldest son of Caleb's wife Ephrathah, were Shobal, the founder of Kiriath-Jearim, Salma, the founder of Bethlehem, and Hareph, the founder of Beth-Gader. The descendants of Shobal, the founder of Kiriath-Jearim, were Haroeh, half the Manahathites, and the families of Kiriath-Jearim, the Ithrahites, Puthites, Shamuthites, and Misraites, from whom came the people of Zorah and Eshtaol. The descendants of Salma were the people of Bethlehem, the Netophathites, Atroth Beth-Joab, and the other half of the Manathahites, the Zorites, and the families of scribes living at Jabez, the Tirathites, Shemeathites, and Sukkothites. All these were Kenites who descended from Hamath, the father of the family of Rechab. The descendants of Judah were Perez, Hezron, Carmi, Hur, and Shobal. Shobal's son, Reaiah, was the father of Jahath. Jahath was the father of Ahumah and Lahad. These were the families of the Zorathites. The descendants of Etam were Jezreel, Ishma, Idbash, their sister Hazelelponi, Penuel, the father of Gedor, and Ezer, the father of Hushah. These were the descendants of Hur, the firstborn of Ephrathah, the ancestor of Bethlehem. Ashur, the father of Tekoa, had 2 wives named Hilah and Naarah. Naarah gave birth to Ahuzam, Hefer, Temeni, and Hahashtari. Hilah gave birth to Zereth, Isar, Ethnon, and Koz, who became the ancestor of Anub, Zebobah, and all the families of Aharal, son of Harum. There was a man named Jabez who was more honorable than any of his brothers. His mother named him Jabez because his birth had been so painful. He was the one who prayed to the God of Israel, "Oh, that you would bless me and expand my territory. Please be with me in all that I do, and keep me from all trouble and pain." And God granted him his request. Caleb, the brother of Shuah, was the father of Mehir. Mehir was the father of Eshton. Eshton was the father of Beth-Rapha, Paseah, and Tehinnah. Tehinnah was the father of Ir-Nahash. These were the descendants of Rekah. The sons of Kenaz were Othniel and Sariah. Othniel's sons were Hathath and Meonothai. Meonothai was the father of Ophrah. Sariah was the father of Joab, the founder of the Valley of Craftsmen, so called because they were craftsmen. The sons of Caleb, son of Jephunneh, were Iru, Elah, and Naam. The son of Elah was Kenaz. The sons of Jehalalel were Ziph, Ziphah, Teriah, and Azarel. The sons of Ezra were Jether, Mered, Epher, and Jalon. One of Mered's wives became the mother of Miriam, Shammai, and Ishbah, the father of Eshtemoa. He married a woman from Judah who became the mother of Jared, the father of Gedor, Heber, the father of Soko, and Jekuthiel, the father of Zanoah. Mered also married Bithiah, a daughter of Pharaoh, and she bore him children. Hodiah's wife was the sister of Naham. One of her sons was the father of Keilah the Garmite, and another was the father of Eshtemoa the Maakathite. The sons of Shimon were Amnon, Rena, Ben-Hanan, and Tilon. The descendants of Ishi were Zoheth and Ben-Zoheth. Shelah was one of Judah's sons. The descendants of Shelah were the father of Leka, Laadah, the father of Marashah, the families of linen workers at Beth Ashbia, Joachim, the men of Kozabah, and Joash and Seraph, who ruled over Moab, and Jashubi Lehem. These names all come from ancient records. They were the pottery makers who lived in Netaim and Gedera. They lived there and worked for the king. There was a man named Elkanah, who lived in Ramah in the region of Zuph in the hill country of Ephraim. He was the son of Jerahmeel, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zuph of Ephraim. Elkanah had 2 wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. Each year, Elkanah would travel to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord of heaven's armies at the tabernacle. The priests of the Lord at that time were the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas. On the days Elkanah presented his sacrifice, he would give portions of the meat to Peninnah and each of her children. And though he loved Hannah, he would give her only 1 choice portion because the Lord had given her no children. So Peninnah would taunt Hannah and make fun of her because the Lord had kept her from having children. Year after year it was the same. Peninnah would taunt Hannah as they went to the tabernacle. Each time, Hannah would be reduced to tears and would not even eat. "Why are you crying, Hannah?" Elkanah would ask. "Why aren't you eating? Why be downhearted just because you have no children? You have me. Isn't that better than having 10 sons?"